Okay, so hi everyone. I'm very delighted to be here. And so I'm going to present the paper Extended Diffie-Hellman Encryption for Secure and Efficient Real-Time Beacon Notification. So in our paper, we focus on the following scenario. Assume that Alice owns a suitcase and she wishes to, and she's traveling, and she wishes to receive notification about her suitcase location and about her suitcase temperature. Now, the location is important in case the suitcase is getting lost. And the temperature is important in case the suitcase contains some items which are sensitive to extreme temperature, for example, some medical supplements. Now, Alice doesn't need to know the exact temperature, but only the temperature in quantums format, for example, low, medium, and high. Okay, so to this end, Alice attaches to her suitcase a small broadcasting device, which calls beacon. And this beacon also has a sensor for temperature in it. Now, the thing is that these beacons are just broadcasting devices. They do not have IP connectivity or GPS location. Therefore, when Alice is far from her suitcase, she relies on observers, which happens to be in the beacon vicinity, and they hold smartphone. And these observers, they hear the beacon broadcast, and they forward the beacon broadcast together with the observer's GPS location, and they send it over IP to the cloud server. So our goal in this paper is to add security, privacy, and integrity for this beacon notification scheme. And more specifically, we aim to add the following requirements. First of all, we added to add security for the beacon, which means that the quantum temperature of the beacon should be encrypted so that only Alice can read it. And we also add as code, we want to add privacy to the beacon, which means that the beacon broadcast should be pseudo-random and ephemeral so that no one can track this beacon. And we also want to add security for the observer, such that the observer's GPS location will be encrypted so that only Alice can read it. But the thing is that with beacons, is that the beacon, usually they operate when they're far from the owner. Therefore, adversaries can apply some physical attack and can extract the secrets of the beacon. Therefore, it's very important for us that the GPS location of the observer will remain secure even if the beacon is secret, is compromised at any time, maybe in the past or in the future, and this is known as backward and forward security. Okay, another thing that we want to achieve is that we want to achieve integrity, which means that the observer should be able to verify if the beacon is valid, yes or not. And we also want to achieve efficient real-time communication, which means that Alice should be notified as soon as the data is available on the cloud server. And this is very important and useful for time-critical applications. Okay, so this list summarizes all our requirements. And now, since beacons are small and low-power devices, it is very important that all these requirements will be achieved while keeping the beacon broadcast short, and this was another challenge that we needed to handle. Okay, so far, Apple Find My was the only tracking location that encrypts the GPS location, however, without backward and forward security, and it doesn't support the beacon sensor and security, and it doesn't support integrity, and it doesn't support efficient real-time communication. So in order to support backward and forward security and the beacon sensor and its security, we are going to change the underlying cryptography. And in order to add integrity and efficient real-time communication, we are going to change the protocol. And we're starting with changing the underlying cryptography. And to this end, we're first of all going to show the existing underlying cryptography that exists in Apple Find My. So Apple Find My built upon pseudo-random version of DHIS, which we called PRDHIS. And this PRDHIS is composed of three algorithms: key generation, encryption, and decryption. The key generation and the decryption share a secret key X, and then the key generation uses these X in order to create public keys, and then the observer is going to use this encryption, and he's going to encrypt its message using this public key. And finally, the owner is going to decrypt the message, so he's going to generate the corresponding private key with using on this secret key X, and he's going to decrypt the ciphertext to get the message. Now, this PRDHIS is insufficient for our needs for two reasons. First of all, the PRDHIS doesn't support additional sensor input and no-read security. And second, it achieves and it guarantees end-to-end security for the observer's messages. However, without backward and forward security. That is, if someone reveals the secrets of the beacon, he actually reveals the secret of the decryption algorithm because they share the same key, and therefore all the observers' messages were encrypted. All the observers' messages that were encrypted using this public key are going to be exposed. Okay, so in this paper we actually proposed a new cryptographic scheme which we called XDHIS. This XDHIS supports additional quantiles input that we are going to call it status from now on, and is going to guarantee security for the observer's message, but this time with backward and forward security. So how are we going to do it? In the following way. First of all, in order to support status and its security, we are going to incorporate this status in the public key itself as an additional input for the pseudo-random function in the public key. In this way, we're going to achieve the end-to-end security for the status, and we're going to achieve pseudo-randomness for the public key, and we're not going to increase the size of the public key. The second thing that our XDHIS guarantees is a backward and forward security for the observer's message, and how we're going to do it? We're going to do it in the following way. Our XDHIS separated the secret keys that are needed for the key generation from those who are needed for the decryption. In such a way, even if an adversary reveals the secrets of the key generation, he does not reveal the secrets of the decryption. Therefore, he cannot decrypt all the messages that were encrypted using this public key. And more specifically, we provide a decryption with two random values, x and r, and we provide the key generation with x and g to the power of r. And then, given that we had x and g to the power of r, the key generation can generate the public keys. However, if someone reveals x and g to the power of r, he cannot reveal r and therefore cannot decrypt the messages. Okay, now building on this XDHIS cryptography, we are now going to present our beacon notification protocol. So thanks to the XDHIS cryptography, we already achieved all the requirements for privacy and security, and now we are going to achieve integrity and efficient real-time communication. So in order to achieve integrity and efficient real-time communication, we are going to provide a cloud server with a routing table that can map between valid beacons to their owner. And then, thanks to this routing table, it enables us, the observer, to first of all check whether the beacon that he hears has valid public keys, and only if the public keys is valid, then the observer is going to encrypt his message and forward it to the cloud server. So this gives us integrity. And the routing table also enables the cloud server to forward notification directly to the corresponding owner in real time. So therefore, we achieve efficient real-time communication. So in summary, this beacon notification protocol of us achieves all the privacy, security, integrity, and efficient real-time communication that we wanted to achieve. So now let's just conclude. So in this paper, we've presented a new critical IoT problem involving beacons broadcasting devices, which we call the beacon notification problem. And we first of all derived new cryptographic definition for security, privacy, and integrity. We then, in order to solve this, we presented a novel cryptographic scheme, which called the XDHIS. We then, building on this XDHIS, and presented our beacon notification protocol. And then finally, in the paper, we also proved that our resulting protocol achieves all the security, privacy, and integrity requirements. And so for more details, you're more than invited to read the papers, and I would love to take your question.
Worst case,
Okay.